Reading keeps the mind agile and young. Reading is one of the best mental workouts that there is. The importance of a reading habit is that it enhances the independent thinking along with strengthening mental muscles as well. It's been found that regular mental stimulation can slow down and possibly even prevent diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. Reading teaches you new words and perspectives in life, and one of the several advantages of reading is that it really helps you shape your identity and character as well. When you read, you choose who you want to become. Good morning, everyone. I am Richa Sharma, and I would like to warmly first welcome you all to the finale of Read India Celebration 2021 in association with Republic Media Network. Read India Celebration has been successfully spreading awareness about the benefits of reading and its positive role in a person's journey called success. This year's edition of the Read India Celebration has already attracted over 3.37 lakh registrations from all over India. And after 2 rigorous rounds of challenges, the list has now been finalized to the final 22 participants. I would like to first congratulate each and every one of you who has reached this particular final round. And now the final test still await. But before that, we will meet our finalists. First, let's meet Raghuram Anantosh, the founder of Read India Celebration first. Welcome to the show, Raghuram. There have been around 3.37 lakh students, 6 months and down to 22 finalists now. How are you really feeling in this today?
Well, thank you, Richa. It's been a wonderful journey interacting with the bright minds. It was very enriching indeed personally. I'm really thankful to for knowledge and independent thinking, and education which does not enable independent thinking is incomplete. So I think we are trying to address some of those aspects of education which make us progressive, which is probably a little ignored in the academics, especially in India, but maybe not so in the other parts of the world. But certainly, yeah, these are well-read students, and I am looking forward to listening to these future leaders.
All right. Thank you so much, Raghuram. I would now like to also introduce our esteemed jury for this event. Our first judge, Dr. Pradeep Ramancharla. He's a professor and registrar at the International Institute of Information Technology, Hyderabad, and is a chief mentor for Read India Celebration. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Ramancharla. Would you also like to share your thoughts before this finale?
Yep. So first of all, I would like to congratulate the Read India Celebration 2021 team. And I'm very happy that this time the response is too big. Like 3+ lakhs of students who participated in this, and out of which these 22 finalists. I'm eager to listen to these young children's thoughts. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Ramancharla, for those inspiring words. It is now time to introduce our second judge on the show today, Ms. Sumana Mudgal. She is the Associate Director of College Counseling at the Westminster Schools in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much, Ms. Mudgal, for joining us on the show today. Would you also like to share your few words?
Thank you, Richa. It is absolutely my pleasure to be here today. And I want to thank Raghu for bringing me onto the Read India Celebration team. It has been very exciting and inspiring to see all the registrations pour in, and I can't wait to hear from the participants today.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Mudgal, for joining us. And it is now also time to introduce our final judge, Mr. Rajasekhar Panisetti. He is the Senior Vice President of Technology Executive at a large financial institution. Thank you so much, Mr. Panisetti, for joining us today. Please share your thoughts as well.
Thanks, Richa. Thanks for having me. And again, it's a big pleasure to be back with Read India Celebration. I see so much of energy in these kids. Really looking forward to hearing their thoughts. Excited for the day. Thanks for having me once again.
All right. Thank you so much to all our judges for those esteemed words. It's now time to give you an overview of this entire competition. There are 22 students that have been divided into 4 separate groups based on their grades. The first category will feature 6 students from grade 3 to 5, and the second category has 6 students from grade 6 to 9. The third category focuses on 5 students from grade 10 to 12, and the final category will include 5 students from undergrad and graduation as well. The students will now be evaluated on 4 categories, that is confidence, content, comprehension, and lastly, independent thinking and their overall ability to handle questions and situations as well. A maximum of 10 minutes will be allotted to each student, and the student must use the first minute to introduce themselves. The judges will then proceed to hand the students with those questions about the topics that they have chosen for themselves. The students will need to represent their views on the given topics in not more than 3 minutes per topic, and the round will finally end with a question and answer segment, which will also be held for a good about 3 minutes, where the judges could ask the students generic questions and give problems, scenarios, and also ask their views and solutions. The winners of each group will be announced at the end of the show, and I wish you all the students and participants a very best of luck, and let's get started with the first group in category 1. This is a question for Akshita Kashyap. I would now invite Akshita Kashyap from St. Mary's Christian School in Ghaziabad. She studies in class 3. And Akshita, please introduce yourself first.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving me the opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Akshita Kashyap. I'm a student of class 3B from St. Mary's Christian School, Sabhabad, Ghaziabad. I have extraordinary skills in some subjects, whereas I'm also weak in a few. Learning new things is one thing that I always enjoy. My hobbies are dancing, singing, reading books, and drawing. Thank you.
All right, so Akshita, please go ahead and share your views and your topics that you have chosen for yourself. And later on, we would also invite Dr. Pradeep Ramacharya to present you with his questions about the topics that you have chosen. Please go ahead, Akshita.
Okay, thank you. So, the great drawing engine of change, technology. Good morning, respected sir, ma'am, fellow board members, and my dear friends. I'm Akshita Kashyap, the fellow student of class 3B from St. Mary's Christian School, Sabhabad, Ghaziabad, stand amidst you to air my views on the topic, technology for evolution and technology for devolution. In today's world of rising competition, technology plays a very crucial role in making our life easy and comfortable. There is no doubt that it is the most significant component for our survival in today's era. Advancement in technology in many aspects have without any doubt made our life comfortable than the earlier time. We cannot refute the fact that the life of each one of us is highly dependent on inventions and modern-day technology. It has brought an end to the wooden toys era and replaced the same with automatic cars. Its benefits have been seen in the fields of education, electricity, aviation, space and technology, agriculture, and numerous other fields as well. And most of the benefits have been seen in the field of education. The more the technological development, the more benefit it provides to the students of different educational levels. First, when the world was suddenly trapped in the web of COVID, student life would be miserable. But because of the advancement in technology, students were able to attend online classes all across the globe from the comfort of their homes. Second, nowadays, students who live in remote areas are also able to study through online apps and videos because they have an access to the internet and are able to prepare for many various examinations. In the past, letters, greeting cards, and money orders used to take days in reaching the destination. But now, with the facilities of net banking and UPI, we are able to send money in a short of seconds, and the letter writing has been replaced by the mail writing, and it can be sent in just one click. There are so many advantages of technology that we cannot sum up them all on fingertips. Despite of so many advantages, there are some disadvantages as well which negatively affect the importance of technology. Many psychological research teams have proved that many social applications like PUBG, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram have affected the youngsters' mind, which leads to social isolation and make them depressed and feel lonely, which also leads to several health problems like obesity and heart problems. And lastly, I want to end up by saying that let's all students take a pledge today to make only fair use of technology for the realization of our goal and not making ourselves the slaves of technology. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Akshita, for those very wise words. I would now invite Dr. Pradeep Ramancharla to proceed with your questions now.
Yep. Akshita, that was really wonderful, and your thoughts are really wonderful. So, like, can you say a few things which cannot be sorted out with technology?
So the few things which cannot be sorted out with the technology are like the smartphone addiction. That this thing cannot be sorted out with the technology because the mobile phones and all are also the part of the technology, and these things cannot be sorted out.
Okay, so now you said fair use of technology. Can you give some examples?
So the fair use of technology can be when we study or when we have to complete some kind of projects and all, then we can take the help of technology. And for many numerous good purposes, but not for the purposes like gaming, etc.
Okay, so now I'll give you a situation. Say you are chatting with your friend on technology, some app or a device. So instead of that, you are talking to your friend physically. Now, what are the things which you miss if you do chatting over, say, maybe a smartphone or laptop?
So basically, I don't like to text my friends and all in WhatsApp, but I especially love to talk to them. But due to the pandemic of COVID and the third stage of the coronavirus, I'm not able to go out. So what I basically miss is that we used to talk together and spend time with each other. But in WhatsApp, this is not possible. We do not get that feeling. So that I miss a lot.
Yeah. Good, Akshita. Yeah.
I think there's another topic you have to speak, Akshita. So all participants, just a quick reminder that you have to speak or present your views on two topics.
Akshita, go ahead with the second topic, Akshita.
Okay. I, Akshita Kashyap, is going to deliver a speech on the topic Indian education system. Education is not the filling of a pot, it is a lighting of a fire. The Indian education system is the complex education system in the whole world along with China. The history of Indian education system is synonymous along with the Gurukul education system. There were gurus and sishyas at that time. Shishya was expected to help Guru in his all-day course, which used to be the part of one's learning. This type of education system continued in India for years until the modern education system came into the picture in 19th century. The modern education system was introduced in India in the 19th century during the British period. Today, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of the Indian education system. First, unlike the ancient and medieval education system, the modern education system is more widely available to people from all walks of life. Nowadays, the objective of school is to prepare their students for the real world and their more dependent working sector. Second, the modern education system covers a vast area of subjects. The school tend to focus more on science and technology. As these subjects are introduced earlier in their schooling, students often already know about their academic interests before starting the high school. This gives students much time to prepare for their higher education and their future career choice. Third, technology is a big driver of change in the educational system, and the online classes are just one part of it. Now, let's come to the cons of the Indian education system. First, the modern education system focus has been shifted from learning to memorizing things to score better in examination. Students have started cramming the lesson by instead of understanding the basic concepts of the lesson. Second, the second one of the con is that the women education system was not given priority in India since the ancient time. That's why our India is lacking behind in the education system era of today's modern world. And third, I want to say that we can improve our India that by just making the students do the practicals in the subject of science, and especially in physics and chemistry and biology. And education is a holistic process which focuses on the all-round development of a child. And lastly, I want to end up by saying that education is not a tool to earn the livelihood, but it is a way to develop an individual mind and apply it for the development of our nation. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very nice, Akshita. Yeah, let me ask you a few questions on that. Can you tell the difference between the school system and Gurukul system?
So in these days of school system and the difference of Gurukul systems, in Gurukul system, student used to learn their basic things like how they can do archery and all from their gurus. But in our school, we focus on more subjects like science, maths, etc., etc. And the education of holy things are not available now in our modern education. But in the ancient time, the holy education, like gurus used to teach them Sanskrit from the beginning and how they can write many things. Like if they want to write Ramayana, like the Ramcharitamanas was written by Maharishi Tulsidas, their teacher may have taught them, and it's true because if they teach them good Sanskrit and how they can write and express their own words in writing holy books. And in our education system, we basically focus on more subjects like these which help in development of our environment and our surroundings.
Yeah, Akshita, my second question is technology to be used as a driver of education or enabler of education?
What's that?
Technology should decide education, what education should be, or technology should enable education?
My thinking is that technology should not decide the education, but it should enable the education.
Okay. Now, what do you think, in your opinion, the present day education is it developing the thinking capability of student or not?
The schools and the teachers are focusing on the education of the students, but the students have started just memorizing the lessons. So I can say students can just learn the things and understand the concept by not memorizing it and cramming it, so that it will help in the development of our nation.
Yeah. Thank you, Akshita. That's all from now. For now. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Akshita, for those words of wisdom, certainly inspiring words coming in, and Dr. Pradeep as well. And moving on to our next contestant for now, I would now like to invite Kashvi Kuleshnam from the Narayana E-Techno School in Bengaluru. She studies in class 3rd. And Kashvi, please introduce yourself first.
Hello everyone. My name is Kashvi Kuleshnam and I'm 7 years old. I study in Class 3, Narayana E-Techno School, Bangalore. I'm basically from Bihar, but born and brought up in Bangalore. My favorite sport is badminton, and my hobbies are dancing, drawing, and playing. Thank you.
All right. On that note, Kashvi, could you also proceed with speaking on your two topics that you have chosen for yourself?
Sure, ma'am. I would like to start with the topic of how to prepare a student for uncertainties and unknowns in life. We all like to stay in the zones of certainty and inside the blanket of security so that we can plan all our actions well in advance and can avoid surprises. But the life and the world are continuously changing, and there is something new to learn and deal with every day. They are not always pleasant, and hence needs the ability to respond and tackle in a way that it doesn't harm us. Uncertainty often comes with the fear of getting lost, which is the main cause of discomfort among many. Therefore, it is important for students to learn to be flexible and open to the changes in life. It also means appreciating what matters most for us, like health, families, and friends above all. Students need to be exposed to real-life difficulties which will help them in building confidence to deal with them. There is no negative of it, but it only cultivates the culture of being always positive in life by practicing mindfulness. One should focus more on the things like soft skills, including active listening, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, problem solving, and leadership. Adopt to learning, unlearning, and learning to adapt to changing job scenarios. Creative independent thinking, trusting our instincts, and facing the situations boldly. Building tolerance to focus on what matters most. Let go and focus on the things one can control. And the regular exercise to have a healthy body and mind. Each of the focus areas are worth enough for a student's attention as they work to prepare one for the future unknowns. There is an established fact that the more you read, the more you know. The more you know, the smarter you grow. The smarter you grow, the stronger your voice becomes when speaking your mind or making your choice. So one should be equipped with knowledge, compassion, dreams, and should be ready to learn from the challenges in life. It is given in Gita that anything in this world can be achieved or overcome through the power of will. So be bold and face the uncertainties as it comes. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Kashvi.
All right. So on that note, yes. Yes, please go ahead, Ms. Budgal.
Thank you for that, Kashvi. So I do have a few questions for you. So considering that you were able to speak about anything, tell me why you chose to speak about the topic you just presented on.
Well, I chose to speak on the topic uncertainties and unknowns in life because it is one of the main things we need to know how to deal with.
Okay, that's a fair answer. Help me understand, when you talk about the development of soft skills, do you feel like you learn enough from school, or is this something that you are taught by your parents?
Well, they both are equal. Even our schools teach us soft skills as well as our parents, because soft skills kind of means having better communication skills, problem solving, and leadership, and etc.
Give me an example of a soft skill that you have learned at school.
Let's see, one of my soft skills, like when my soft skill teacher used to teach us, we used to learn different ways to communicate, like with our hands.
Oh, tell me more about that.
And we also used to talk, and mainly we used to read our chapters, and we used to have more information in which we had to fill about us, like what time we get up, when do we eat breakfast, and like when do we come from school.
Okay. What is the biggest lesson your parents have taught you that you have used every day in your life? I'm not talking about anything relating to academics.
Just be confident. That's what.
That is wonderful. Thank you, Kashvi. You can go ahead and present on your second topic now.
Okay. My second topic is to talk about how to draw a line between need and greed. Need is the basic requirement to survive, which also brings the innovation and evolves humanity in a better standard than before. It also brings the quest for knowledge and ability to use and manage the resources in a better way. Greed, which is the desire to have more of something, in spite of already having it in a larger quantity, has always been considered as a negative behavior. Greed never allows thinking beyond being selfish. It can destroy the humanity by developing hatred in the society and can harm the ecosystem in a completely unpredictable way. From the time human evolved, greed has been the cause of all the conflicts, be it Mahabharata, the British occupation of India, or the two world wars. Then we are already struggling with the issue of global warming, which is the effect of heavy deforestation and overusage of fossil fuels. One of the prime concerns of humanity now is to find a balance between fulfillment of needs and exploitation of resources. How can we fulfill our needs without being too greedy to ignore our own future? There are ways as our ancestors did. Be control of the mind and embrace a sustainable lifestyle. Being satisfied with ourselves and what we have. Don't overstock, be it money, food, or any other natural resources. Achieving goals without following the wrong paths or without harming others. Move from I to we in actions. Be selfless in actions and thoughts and share with the needy. There's a very thin line between need and greed. If one is not cautious, then they can end up crossing the line unknowingly. The only way to be content in life is to make sure that our needs don't turn into greeds. So we must develop the lifestyle of simple living and high thinking so that we can turn the world into a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Kashvi. So here is my question to you on this topic.
Yes.
You said that you have pretty much been born and you've grown up in Bangalore, right?
Yeah.
You talked about greed leading to deforestation and a lot of things that affect the environment.
Yeah.
Do you think greed has changed Bangalore in any way?
Well,
the city, just the environment.
Kind of. It's almost in the environment because we are making more buildings because many people live in Bangalore, which will also cause the deforestation, which is cutting down of the trees. So in the way to turn it into greed, it would be because the people are not planting more trees after making the building. But what they did, their need was to cut the tree and make the building, but their greed was that they will not plant more trees.
I get it. So help me understand this. When you look around you and you look at your friends, what does greed look like in them, if you see it at all?
If I see in my friends, I don't find anything greedy in them. They're not greedy.
Sounds like you have a good set of friends then. So tell me this. You talked a lot about there being a fine line between need and greed. Have you changed anything in the way that you do or that you ask for so that you don't cross that line and that you don't turn into someone greedy?
Yeah. What I do whenever we go outside, I'm not greedy. Like, I only buy one toy, even if my parents insist on buying more. I feel just one is enough. But I'm greedy in just one way.
Tell me about that.
Which is in pizza. I know that my tummy is full in only 2 pieces, but my heart is not. So I eat another 2-3 pieces, even if I know that I might get stomach pain, and I forget that every time. This has not happened one time. It has happened every time I have pizza.
Sounds like pizza is a big weakness. So what is your favorite type of pizza? that makes you
Cheese.
cross this line. It must be something really good.
Cheese pizza is my favorite one. I
Cheese
love
pizza.
cheese a lot.
I can believe that. That is a weakness for sure. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for that, Kashvi.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Modgal and Kashvi. It's unbelievable to see the perception and sensitivity that you have towards all the topics that you shared with us. And we do hope more and more children become more inspired by your thoughts and your words. And on that note, we'll also move on to our next contestant, that is Pranay Tyagi. I would invite Pranay Tyagi first to introduce yourself. He is from the Chabil Das Public School in Ghaziabad and he studies in class 3rd. Pranay, please introduce yourself first.
I am Pranay Tyagi of class 3rd, section 9, and I study in CCTPS. I have a lots of hobbies. My favorite ones are that I like to play with my friends, and my most favorite game is Red Poison, and that game is made by us. And sometimes I think that that's another way to creating games. And sometimes I am also think that we are so creative because we have made a lot of games. And my favorite ones is Red Poison and green, yellow, and blue, red. This is also game, and this game is so creative because in this game there are a lots of colors. One person says that color, and we want to find that color. If we doesn't find that, so we are out of that game.
All right. Thank you so much, Pranay, for that introduction. And on that note, I would also ask you to start with addressing and sharing your 2 topics with us. And later on, Mr. Raj Panisetti will also present you with the questions. Please go ahead, Pranay.
नमस्कार, मेरा नाम प्रणय त्यागी है। मैं कक्षा 3 का छात्र हूँ। मेरे विद्यालय का नाम चौधरी छबीलदास पब्लिक स्कूल है। आज मैं 2 विषयों पर आपके सामने अपने विचार प्रस्तुत करने जा रहा हूँ। मेरा पहला विषय है कि क्या वैश्विक स्तर पर हाई स्कूल छात्रों के लिए इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस को एक सब्जेक्ट के रूप में शामिल करने की आवश्यकता है। इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस क्या है? इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस व्यक्ति की वह योग्यता है जिसके द्वारा व्यक्ति अपने तथा दूसरों के मनोभावों को समझता है, अपने भावों पर नियंत्रण रखता है तथा अपने लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति के लिए उनका सही ढंग से उपयोग करता है। सर्वप्रथम 350 ईस्वी पूर्व अरस्तु ने इस प्रत्यय का प्रयोग किया, परंतु तब यह अधिक प्रचलित नहीं हुआ। तब से लेकर अब तक इस पर शोध होते आ रहे हैं। 1995 में डैनियल गोलमैन की एक पुस्तक इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस व्हाई इट कैन मैटर मोर देन IQ में उन्होंने इसकी विस्तृत व्याख्या की तथा इस विषय की ओर लोगों का ध्यान खींचा। उन्होंने बताया कि अधिक IQ वाला व्यक्ति सफलता पा सकता है, परंतु उच्च स्तर की सफलता पाने के लिए इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस का होना बहुत जरूरी है। अच्छी इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस रखने वाला व्यक्ति अत्यधिक क्रोध या अत्यधिक खुशी की अवस्था में अनुचित कदम नहीं उठाता। जैसे हमारे PM श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी को हम एक इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंट पर्सन कह सकते हैं। हो सकता है कि उनका IQ अच्छा हो, परंतु उनका इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस वास्तव में बहुत अच्छा है, तभी आज वो इस पद पर पहुंच पाए हैं। यह कंपटीशन का दौर है, हर जगह कंपटीशन है। शिक्षा की शुरुआत से ही छात्रों को कक्षा में अच्छा प्रदर्शन करने व परीक्षा में अच्छे अंक लाने का दबाव झेलना पड़ता है। यह दबाव माता पिता व अध्यापक दोनों की तरफ से होता है। इससे उनमें परीक्षा को लेकर डर उत्पन्न हो जाता है और वे अपने प्रदर्शन को लेकर चिंतित रहने लगते हैं तथा धीरे धीरे एंजाइटी, स्ट्रेस और डिप्रेशन जैसी समस्याओं से घिर जाते हैं। इन सब समस्याओं से बचने के लिए छात्रों का भावात्मक रूप से मजबूत होना आवश्यक है। ताकि वह अपने जीवन में तनाव या अवसाद नहीं बल्कि खुशी अनुभव करे। खुशी हमारे व्यवहार में अचानक से नहीं आती, बल्कि खुशी हमारे व्यवहार में धीरे धीरे कर आती है। अगर छात्र अपनी रुचि और बिना किसी अत्यधिक दबाव से पढ़ाई करते हैं तो अच्छे परिणाम प्राप्त होते हैं तथा आगे जाकर वे अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ में अधिक खुश रह पाते हैं। बचपन में छात्रों के सीखने की क्षमता अधिक होती है, इसीलिए कम उम्र में ही इस सामग्री का उपयोग करना फायदेमंद होगा। धन्यवाद।
Hey Pranay, thank you so much for talking about emotional intelligence. I think you compared nicely how emotional intelligence versus IQ. And I think you certainly see some role models who have done well with that. So I want to learn in your day-to-day life, now that you have learned so much on emotional intelligence, how do you follow it? Like now, what's your practice on a day-to-day basis to improve emotional intelligence?
Sir, what did you say? Please repeat it, please.
How do you practice on a day-to-day basis to continuously improve on emotional intelligence or get better at that?
Sir, I'm not able to listen to you.
So,
Okay.
Pranay,
All right.
आपके
If we can
हिंदी में
translate that in Hindi, yes. Raghu, you can do that.
Yeah, I can. I'm trying to do that. Yeah. आपके रोज की जीवन में आप क्या करते हैं जिससे आपका इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस बढ़ सकता है और उसका उपयोग कर रहे हैं अच्छे बढ़ाने के लिए क्वेश्चन।
सर, हर रोज हमें अपना बिहेवियर अच्छा रखना चाहिए और सर उसी से इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस होता है। इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस का मतलब ही यही होता है कि हम अपने इमोशंस को कंट्रोल कैसे कर सकते हैं।
क्या चीज आप करते हैं रोज जिससे वो अच्छा हो सकता है?
सर, मैं अपना बिहेवियर हमेशा ठीक अच्छा रखता हूँ और सर जब कभी भी कोई मुझसे अच्छी तरीके से नहीं बोलता या तो तब मैं उनकी टीचर से कंप्लेन कर देता हूँ क्लास में या फिर मैं उनसे बात नहीं करता। और सर इन बहुत कम ही केसेस में हुआ है ऐसा जब मुझे बहुत गुस्सा आ गया था।
Okay, thanks Pranay. और एक फॉलोअप क्वेश्चन है इसके सेम टॉपिक पे।
वैसे
लेट्स से आपके स्कूल में एक सिचुएशन है जैसा आपको एंजाइटी है लाइक किसी स्टूडेंट के साथ या अ वेरी स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन है। सो वन इज आप अपने टीचर के पास जा सकते हैं बट और एक तरीका है लाइक नाउ हाउ यू रिएक्ट टू दैट अदर स्टूडेंट। सो हाउ डू यू डील विद दैट? व्हाट इज योर काइंड ऑफ स्टाइल?
सर मैं तो टीचर के पास चला जाऊंगा क्योंकि सर मुझे कुछ ही बार होता है जब वो बहुत ज्यादा गलत बोलते थे तब मुझे गुस्सा आ जाता है। और सर अगर कोई ऐसी नॉर्मल स्ट्रेस कंडीशन होगी तो मैं तो टीचर के पास ही जाऊंगा सर, लेकिन कुछ ही बार जब वो ओवर हो जाएगा तो फिर सर मुझसे कंट्रोल नहीं हो पाता। इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस मुझे हर किसी को अपना इम्प्रूव करना चाहिए।
परफेक्ट, ओके, थैंक यू। आप अपने दूसरे टॉपिक पे जा सकते हैं।
ओके सर, मेरा दूसरा विषय है कि कैसे प्राकृतिक संसाधनों के दुरुपयोग व सदुपयोग के बीच संतुलन करें। प्रकृति से प्राप्त होने वाले वे तत्व जो मनुष्य के जीवन और विकास के लिए आवश्यक होते हैं प्राकृतिक संसाधन कहलाते हैं, जैसे पानी, हवा, पेड़ पौधे, पशु पक्षी, खनिज आदि। बेहतर भविष्य के लिए विकास आवश्यक है और बिना संसाधन के विकास संभव नहीं। लेकिन संसाधनों के विवेकहीन उपयोग कई तरह की सोशल, इकोनॉमिकल और एनवायरमेंटल समस्याएं उत्पन्न कर देता है। इन सब समस्याओं से बचने के लिए हमें कुछ बातों का ध्यान रखना होगा। सर्वप्रथम तो हमें प्राकृतिक संसाधनों का उपयोग करना होगा, ना कि उनका उपभोग। दूसरा, इकोलॉजी सिस्टम में सभी प्राकृतिक तत्व एक दूसरे से डायरेक्ट या इनडायरेक्ट रूप में जुड़े होते हैं। एक को हानि पहुंचने से पूरा सिस्टम गड़बड़ा जाता है। जैसे पेड़ पौधों की अंधाधुंध कटाई से व प्रदूषण से वातावरण में कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड की मात्रा बढ़ती जा रही है, जो कि ग्लोबल वार्मिंग का एक कारण है। ग्लोबल वार्मिंग से ग्लेशियर पिघलेंगे, ग्लेशियर के पिघलने से समुद्र का जल स्तर बढ़ेगा तथा सूखा व बाढ़ जैसी समस्याएं पैदा हो जाएंगी। साथ ही जंगली जानवरों को उनका घर छोड़ना पड़ेगा और अनेक प्रजातियां विलुप्त हो जाएंगी। इसलिए हमें सभी का मितव्ययिता के साथ उपयोग करने के साथ साथ इनके संवर्धन की दिशा में बढ़ना होगा। तीसरा, रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज जैसे सौर व पवन ऊर्जा के सदुपयोग को बढ़ावा देना होगा तथा नॉन रिन्यूएबल रिसोर्सेज जैसे कोयला, पेट्रोलियम, खनिज आदि को सीमित मात्रा में उपयोग करने के साथ साथ इनके विकल्प तलाशने होंगे। जैसे कोयले के स्थान पर सौर व पवन ऊर्जा से बिजली बनाई जाए, पेट्रोल के स्थान पर इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल के इस्तेमाल को बढ़ावा दिया जाए। प्राकृतिक संसाधनों के दुरुपयोग को रोकने के लिए न केवल सरकारी स्तर पर बल्कि सामाजिक व व्यक्तिगत स्तर पर भी प्रयास करने होंगे। जन जागरूकता फैलाकर हम प्रकृति को, स्वयं को तथा अपने आने वाली पीढ़ी को बचा सकते हैं, विनाश से बचा सकते हैं। अंत में मैं महात्मा गांधी जी की कुछ पंक्तियां कहना चाहता हूँ कि हमारे पास हर व्यक्ति की आवश्यकता पूर्ति के लिए बहुत कुछ है, लेकिन लालच की संतुष्टि के लिए नहीं। अर्थात हमारे पास पेट भरने के लिए बहुत कुछ है, लेकिन पेटी भरने के लिए नहीं। धन्यवाद।
Thanks, Pranay. That was very nice. So, मेरा सवाल ये है, like, no, there are so many different problems there. आपकी तरफ से कौन सा प्रयास रहेगा, like, in everyday's life, आप क्या करेंगे? So, इसके लिए आपकी तरफ से how to do things better?
सर, लोगों को स्टॉप करना, जैसे कि गाड़ी हमसे एक बाल्टी में हम आराम से धो सकते हैं, लेकिन उसके लिए पाइप चलाकर 10-10 बाल्टियों का पानी वेस्ट, ये बात हो जाती है। ऐसा मतलब हर प्राकृतिक संसाधनों के दुरुपयोग को रोकने के लिए सर काफी चीजें हैं जो हमें करनी पड़ेंगी, और उनमें से सबसे ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट तो पानी ही है। सर जैसे बाल्टी, मैंने अभी आपको एग्जांपल दिया कि एक बाल्टी से पूरी गाड़ी धुल जाएगी, लेकिन उसमें पाइप चला के धोने में बिना साबुन वाबुन लगाए तो वो ज्यादा पानी से होगी। तो फिर सर जो ऐसा होता है, तो लोगों की सोच बदलना चाहिए कि अगर हम ऐसे यूज करेंगे तो फिर एक टाइम ऐसा आ जाएगा जब हमारे पास यूज करने के लिए कुछ बचेगा ही नहीं।
Very nice, very nice. I think, thank you so much, Pranay. That was very enlightening.
Thanks, sir.
All right. On that note, thank you so much, Pranay, for sharing those inspiring words. हम आशा करते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग आपकी इन बातों को सुनकर और ज़्यादा प्रेरित होंगे पढ़ने के लिए और ज्ञान प्राप्त करने के लिए भी. On that note, we'll also move ahead with our next contestant, that is Aisha Singh. I would invite Aisha Singh to also, she's from the Sacred Heart Convent School in Punjab. She studies in class 4th. Aisha, please introduce yourself first.
Yes, good morning to all present here. It's so chill in Punjab. Hope you're all doing good. So let's begin with my introduction. Words have meaning and names have power. It's a blueprint of one's real character. And my name is Aisha Singh. I am a confident, assertive, and a high-spirited 9-year-old girl from Sacred Heart Convent School, Vidya, Punjab. My name denotes hope, happiness, and life. And as much little as I have lived and experienced so far have been absolutely similar to my name. Here I begin with my first topic, which is based on belief-based society versus independent thinking society. Belief is the magic key that unlocks your dreams, whether it is a belief of a single individual or of a society as a whole. Believe you can and you are halfway there. India is a land where every great religion finds a home. In other words, religion is the life of our Bharat, the second language of this country, the core of all its movements. I, as an Indian, take a huge pride in the fact that I belong to the land of sages, where till date our society is driven by the age-old beliefs of tolerance and universal acceptance. A belief-based society's culture resides in the mind and hearts of its people. It keeps them united in the toughest times, keeping their hearts brimming with the hope of a better tomorrow. It acts as an anchor of stability by keeping its people grounded and super close to their roots. But, as we know, excess of everything is bad. Too much of belief-driven values can lead to suppression of freedom. can instigate conflicts by contradicting with scientific progress, and can invade people's personal life and space. Religious preachers always claim to know much more than a common man, which leads to conflicting conversations. So, to maintain certain decorum and to make our nation stand at par with all the progressive nations of the world, we need to make some space for independent thinking society. A society which has confidence on its own intelligence, banking on its own judgment, following the views and values of its own, and taking a courageous stand to stick to its decisions. Such land can give birth to numberless genius minds and can open doors to endless opportunities. But as not everything that shines is gold, even this kind of society cannot sustain the rains of adversities. Being totally materialistic, they fall down at the very first blow. It may give hope of better tomorrow, but not all hopes are sustainable. So, in my view, we should have a society which runs both on belief as well as independent thinking. Because to maintain a balance, both the schools of thoughts are a must. One without another would just be as hollow of the soul of an echo. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Aisha, for sharing us with that topic. On that note, I will also invite Dr. Pradeep for sharing his questions and later on for the next topic.
Yeah. Aisha, that was really wonderful speech with a lot of expression in it. Yeah,
Thank
nice.
you, sir. Thank you,
Nice.
sir.
Yeah. So can you give one example of a belief which need to be changed by independent thinking?
Thank you, sir, for the question. Belief is what you believe and then you start following it. And I am a girl of this new generation. So I want to change this concept. I would like to give my mom's example. My mom follows my grandmother. They don't wash hair on Tuesdays. One day it was my friend's birthday and I wanted to wash my hair, wanted a nice hairstyle. My mother stopped me. She said, it's a Tuesday, you don't wash hair. I asked, what's the logic behind it? She said, everyone believes it, so even I do it. I want to change this concept because I am a girl of this new generation. I want to take my own decisions. I want independent. I want to be independent. I want my independent thinking. I want my freedom. I want all that. I want to take my decisions by myself. I want to change this concept. You should let the person decide what they have to do. Don't just suppress their thoughts, suppress their freedom. That's what I want to say. This is my point by this topic.
Okay, now continuing on the same thing. Now, if say your mother is not able to give a logic behind something what she is doing, do you think that that is wrong?
Sir, that is not technically wrong. It is not even her bad. She saw her mother doing it, so she started following it. So, but I don't want that. I see my mother, I start following it. I don't want to continue this generation. So it is not wrong. So when you have a thing, when you have to explain it, you have to have a logic behind this. Because without logic, see, I am also washing my hair on Tuesday, not washing my hair on Tuesdays, following my mother. Why? Do I have a reason behind it? No. Because from generations, this is getting continued that don't wash hair on Tuesdays, don't eat chicken on Tuesdays. I want to stop all this nonsense.
No, Aisha, let me put my question more properly. See, because your mother is not able to explain, there might be an answer to why they are doing that. So only because your mother is not able to explain, do you think that is wrong?
Yes, that is wrong. That is wrong. If he doesn't have a reason behind it, why is she following it? There should be a reason.
Okay.
So for me, it is wrong. It is wrong. You should have a reason behind it.
No, what I'm saying is, what you did? What you did to explore the reason.
I will have to go in the depths and see why don't you do this, because I don't know. My mother stopped me that day and I felt really bad. So my mother wrote this on this topic. So I will figure out why this happens.
Yeah, that's the spirit. You have to figure out why it is.
Yes, why it happens.
Why it is not wrong is not important, but why it is right is more important.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now you can move on to the second topic.
Okay, so here I begin with my second topic, which is based on emotional intelligence. Should it be made a compulsory topic subject in schools all across the globe or not? It is rightly said, awareness is consciously built and nurtured. To survive in the ever changing world, one has to be super adaptive, focused, and aware so that he or she can make appropriate and fruitful choices. To become a leader of one's own life and to voice one's own opinions at the right time, one has to be super balanced, not only physically but even mentally. Here's when emotional intelligence comes in the picture. But before moving ahead, we need to understand what emotional intelligence actually is. Emotional intelligence is the capacity to be aware of one's emotions, ways to express and handle one's sentiments, and to sail through personal relationships wisely, calmly, and sympathetically. The biggest tool that we have that can assure us to build such a humane side of one's personality is education. And if it is made a compulsory subject in schools all across the globe, then it would definitely be a huge breakthrough. High school students are the ones who are at a very tender as well as high risk sphere of life, as their body and mind both goes through a phase of transition and change. Youth is the time when the person feels immense power and is expected to fall prey to all sorts of emotions, circumstances, as well as people. At such a crucial time, a subject like emotional intelligence can act as a true blessing. Living in a robotic and materialistic world, to inculcate the feelings of love, tolerance, acceptance, endurance, and universal love in the mind and heart of the youth is a huge challenge. But we shouldn't forget, in youth, we learn, in age, we understand. I strongly believe we can certainly build an indestructible future for our youth, laying a strong foundation of education. It's the coaching of emotional intelligence that can help us to produce empathetic minds and soulful hearts to attain everything that seems unattainable to a bare eye. Thank you.
Yeah, that was nice, Aisha. So, can you explain me that how much family's contribution is towards development of this emotional intelligence?
Sir, my sister is in ninth, so she's in the youth. So my mother spends a lot of time with her, counseling her, staying with her, communicating with her. So she puts a lot of her strength to spend time with my sister, counsel her a lot. But for example, my mother was a working woman. She cannot spend time with my sister. My sister will go on the bad route. She will not have nice company. She will not have nice friends. She will go into drugs, cigarettes, all that bad world. She will not go on the right path where she needs to. Because my sister is really capable. But she's getting really stressed because her exams are on her head. There's so many. She's not on the going on the right path. So my mother likes to spend time with her. So and this is my point that if most of the parents work, so us teachers say that school is your second home. So if not a first home, why not a second home? Emotional intelligence can be a subject and teachers should counsel their students, and this all that talk should be stayed confidential. It shouldn't be told to the outer world.
Okay, so now, like you said, say if your sister is unattended, she might go wrong. Is it
Yes.
a belief?
No, it is not a belief. It is not a belief. It
Why?
is
Go ahead.
why because if she doesn't have some, because she this is not the age to see what is right, what is wrong. So our parents, they have done all this, they have gone through all this, so that's why they want to tell us that we did this wrong, so you do it right. So it is not a belief, it I'm not really sure about if it is a belief or not, but in my view, it is not a belief. It is the correct thing that you can go in that wrong path and follow wrong things. You can go in the wrong world specifically. Today's youth, there's the only relevant topic is drugs, cigarettes. Youth are going in that, they are getting addicted to all that. So I want to stop all that. That is not a good thing. So if not parents, why not a school? why not a school or teachers? Why don't they keep counselors to counsel children, to tell their problems? And the best way is to communicate. Children at this point, they get a bit scared because they said, agar main ye karungi to kya hoga, agar main ye karungi to kya hoga. So they have to be counseled nicely.
Okay, thank you, Aisha.
Thank you, sir. Had a great time talking to you.
Thank you. Yeah, back to you, Richa.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Pradeep and Aisha, for sharing your thoughts with so much of confidence and also a perception that you have shared with us. And we do hope more people get inspired by that. And let me also now go across to our next contestant at this hour, that is Akshara Reddy. Akshara Reddy is from the city of Pride School, Pune, and she studies in class 4th. Akshara, please introduce yourself first.
Yes, ma'am. So, respected judges, good morning. This is Akshara Reddy here, and I'm 9 years old. I study in City Pride School, that is in Migdi. I'm in Maharashtra currently right now. So, actually, this Read India celebration has helped me a lot. It also got to, it helped me a lot in knowing about myself. And the last few months have been really different for me. I enjoyed them thoroughly. My hobbies, it was reading, and now I became kind of professional in it. Means I'm an appreciator of books of different genres and also possess brilliant mathematical skills.
All right. Thank you so much, Akshara, for that introduction. And I would also now urge you to go ahead and share your topics. And later on, Ms. Sumana Mudgal will also present you with the questions.
Okay, ma'am. So today I'll be sharing my thoughts on 2 topics that are in the need of the hour and we are experiencing them in our day-to-day lives. So the first topic, it's all about prioritizing among 4 fundamental sectors and how the state distributes the resources among them for maximizing the nation's human development. And the second topic will focus on the post-COVID era, like how the economic recovery will happen across the globe. So these 2 topics are connected at the macro policy level, but differ at the implementation level. We will discuss these details through our topics. So let's begin with the first topic, that's with the title, Top Priorities for the State. Healthcare, nature care, education, and employment creation. So over here, state refers to the nation state that includes a government and governance along with its people. So since the resources are limited, it is very important to prioritize among them and invest accordingly so that all the sectors are impacted positively. So firstly, the education sector is very important. It ensures the skilled workforce to maximize the participation in the production of goods and services. So over here, the per capita income will be very high. Also, education is a weapon, especially in the knowledge-based economy, for, eradicating the prejudice and unequal income distributions. Secondly, health is wealth, as someone rightly said so. Healthy workforce will be more productive and efficient as compared to the unhealthy workforce. Also, focus on health will, we can say, increase the quality of living, life expectancy, etc. So, thirdly, natural resources are fundamental to human existence, and protecting the environment and resources is of paramount importance. So, investment in nature care helps in the regeneration of these resources based on the current and future needs. Finally, employment creation is very important as it provides different or various opportunities for people to engage in more productive activities to earn their livelihood and also to maintain an order of the society. Hence, all these 4 sectors are very important as they help in the economic growth and well-being of a nation, and they can be looked as the 4 legs of a chair. Prioritization happens keeping in mind the short term and we can say long term and employment creation. For instance, we can say that due to this COVID-19 pandemic, These two particular years have been stressed upon the health sector, and stimulus is continued for employment creation to stimulate the economic growth. So we can say that prioritization is not straightforward by dividing equally, but it is a precise surgical action based on the current and future needs of the nation. So, sir, shall I continue with my second topic?
Actually, Akshara, we're going to pause for a second there, and I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then we can move on to the second topic. Yeah. So you talked about prioritization and how, people should prioritize what they pour their resources
That's
into.
very important in a state or a nation. That's really
I agree. I agree. But who decides what a priority is? Because sometimes you and I might not see eye to eye. So who do you think should ultimately make the decision on what is a priority?
Okay. What is a priority? But we can't say that only education is the priority. So I can say that the government states what is the priority. But as we said, the implementation is not straightforward because, for example, right now in the COVID-19 pandemic, the health sector is being prioritized. So the government ultimately is who decides what is going to prioritize in this particular time of the year or in this particular years.
I agree that the government will ultimately make the decisions, but what if the people within a certain sector don't agree with what the government is doing? What do you think should happen then?
Okay, so when the government states some rule and the people are not agreeing on it, right? Okay, so we have to see what happens next. So the people who do not agree, not in a negative way, but they will be facing the consequences directly or indirectly. That's my point.
Right. So do you think that conversations should happen? People should talk, like how, or should the government?
Yeah, that's what. Every time I see a movie when, a good man and bad man face and fight each other, I feel that there should always be a discussion between them before they start the fighting. Yeah. So yes, I feel that the people should very much discuss with the government and they should tell their problems to the government. Like if there's this lockdown, we'll be not able to go to our employment. So we'll have less money and all. So they should discuss it with the government, sort it out, and then return back and then think upon what to do later.
Okay, got it. Thank you, Akshara. You can move on to your second topic now.
Okay, so my second topic will focus on the different ideas and policies to fast forward the economy that is severely being affected by the COVID-19 pandemic right now. So it's with the title, The Road to the Economic Recovery of Nations Post-COVID-19. So as we all know, due to this pandemic, the government has been forced to take many protective measures to save the lives of the people. Be it lockdown, be it trade travel, or travel restrictions even, and more, it completely reduced the money generation capacity of the economy. Also, the governments have spent a lot of money on the social and health welfare during this period. So I feel that as this COVID-19 is reaching its endemic stage, it's high time for the government to refocus on the economy and come up with new policies to trigger the economic growth. So firstly, I would say that these nations are right now focusing more on easing the restrictions for trade and travel to increase the ease of business. Also, governments are increasing the investments in different sectors to boost the economy. The cooperation related to vaccinations and other issues are to be continued at the global level. So global governing bodies like WHO, World Bank, etc. need to take steps to safeguard the progress made so far and to prevent the future crisis situations. So secondly, this pandemic has actually shown us multiple perspectives of ways of living. And this has led to the rise of many new jobs that were never thought of. For example, we can say digital economy-based jobs in many sectors. Also, the digital or the work from home opportunity is involving many people into the job sector force. So the government needs to take note of this fact and must ensure that these jobs will continue in the future also, even if there is no pandemic, through these policy interventions. So next, the investments in the health sector must be continued to face the current and future challenges. Also, this pandemic has rightly pointed out that this social welfare is no longer the business of the government only, but even the private firms need to share this burden equally. Ultimately, during this economic recovery, the environmental gains achieved are tremendous, and this progress needs to be again protected. So due to the trade and travel restrictions and reduced business activity, this environmental gains, again, they're stupendous. The environment has been positively affected, and so this needs to be protected. So this government needs to acknowledge this fact and must provide place for this through policy interventions. So in this way, different measures can be taken to bring back this economy into the pre-COVID period and beyond. So this will help to create a more equitable, inclusive, and skilled society in the future. Thank you all.
Thank you for that, Akshara. Give me an example of a social welfare initiative that you have seen play out around you.
Okay, social welfare initiative. Actually, due to this pandemic, I'm not being much into that. But when we say social welfare, I always used to feel that people of the high caste and low caste is something related to that. Like people of the low caste are not given many job opportunities, but people of the high caste, they are welcome. Okay, you can have this job if you want, or you can have this job. So I feel that that discrimination is very, I don't feel that right in our economy.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Thank you for that. Help me understand how the pandemic has changed your life. And you were talking about all the changes, right? So talk to me about the changes it has made in your life.
Okay, there are many positive effects and a few negative effects, like while during our online classes, we can do anything. We can watch some video games or so and so. So the pandemic has actually, in a positive manner, it has changed my life by, taking me into a more healthy routine. Like I can sleep at a fixed time instead of, watching TV by 11:30 or so. I usually sleep by 10 and get up at 7. So it's changed my life in a very positive way by, I don't know, I felt really good, once right now when I'm talking to you, I feel really good about how this pandemic has actually changed my life.
Okay. One last question for you. You talked about how a lot of new jobs have been created. Have you seen anything around you that you can talk about?
Of course, yeah. Actually, yeah. Currently, I'm working in teams at my school. So these people who created teams, they can have a lot of opportunity, like the ITs, the technology people who develop the technology. Just like I said, digital-based jobs are there in many sectors.
Are you talking about Microsoft Teams?
Yeah, Microsoft Teams. Exactly.
Okay. Thank you very much, Akshara.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Bodgal. And Akshara, certainly sharing your thoughts and wisdom with us with a lot of positivity and energy and elegance as well. And certainly something that we all can learn from. And on that note, let me also go across to now Gyan. Gyan is from the Police DAV Public School in Jalandhar. She studies in class 5th. And Gyan, please introduce yourself first.
Thank you, ma'am. So hello everyone, I'm Gianna from Police DAV Public School Jalandhar, and I study in grade 5, and I'm the junior joint head girl of my school, and I'm really happy to represent my school on this wonderful platform, and I'm very happy and delighted, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. So may I continue with my topic?
Yes, Gianna, please continue with your topics, and also later on Mr. Raj Panisetti will also join you and share his questions with you.
Thank you. So my first topic is, should we teach high school students about emotional intelligence? So we, the human beings, are creatures of emotions, and we have most definitely once have felt feelings like happiness, sadness, fear, and aggression. Famous writer Oscar Wilde had once said that I don't want to be at the mercy of my emotions. I want to use them, enjoy them, and to dominate them. So, this concept may look new, but it has been in existence since ages. Studies show that by the age of 10, children start using different strategies, and their efforts can be channelized to make them a balanced human being. And this research gives a rise to a bigger question. Should we teach students about emotional intelligence? And the answer is undoubtedly a big yes. The Holy Bible says that everyone must be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. And this makes our life beautiful. Emotional literacy must be given importance as it makes the students conscious about their actions and reactions. And when emotions are extreme, people say words which they usually do not and regret later. A lot of mess in life can be avoided by practicing emotional intelligence. However, before making it a part of the curriculum, it is essential to define its structure to be followed to avoid conflicts. Also, the personalities of students in school are different, so it would be a daunting task to implement it practically. And on the other hand side, if we make it a part of the curriculum of the school studies and carefully pick the syllabus and the modules, we would definitely have really wise, emotionally wise people in our society. Thank you.
That was very nice, Gianna. How do you find the signs of somebody who's having low emotional intelligence? What are the 2 or 3 signs that you observe in them?
When people are really aggressive and they get really angry easily.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
So how do you see others? Like, how do you see some of those more signs like that you see that? Somebody who's lacking accountability of their actions and anything else like that?
Like the sadness and that's how they.
Okay.
I mean, if they cannot control their emotions.
Okay. So let's say somebody has like poor social skills or anything. So now there are ways to increase your emotional intelligence, right? So what kind of techniques like would you adopt to get better at that with somebody who's having low emotional intelligence?
I would tell them to be more motivated, to meditate, and if they want to, they could meditate. They could be more concentrated to motivational things, and they should try doing whatever they like, whatever they have fun in.
Okay. So do you empathize with people? Like, can you share me an example where you show a lot of empathy to people?
I did not understand your question. I'm sorry.
How do you empathize with people? Like, it's one of the key things, like understanding their situation and then working with them. Can you share a situation where you have empathized with somebody?
So when it could be like when children get low marks, they get their parents scold them and they become a target, and
Okay, I think you are a support system to them, right? So I think you help them understand it's okay to be getting certain marks and they can always do well. So you empathize with them and be their confidence level, more self-awareness. Okay, can you go to your next topic?
Yes. So my next topic is technology for evolution or devolution. Okay. So we are the most we are the most informed generation as we have more accessible knowledge than any before us, thanks to the technology. We are connected to our friends and our family, and we get constantly updated about the happenings all around the world just because of the technology. Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, has said that his latest company, Neuralink Corp, is working to link the human brain with a machine interface. And this clearly indicates that artificial intelligence and machine learning will have very sophisticated and godlike computers who would be able to provide two brains interfaces. This is technology for evolution indeed. But on the flip side, the same saintly technology is making the humanity worse. We are addicted to make our lives more convenient. We have digital devices to guide us with our health, meetings, anniversaries, and even our personal relationships. But how can we forget that just during the pandemic, the world could run just because of technology? And if we did not have the technology, the Mother Earth would be a sad and a gloomy planet. We owe a debt of gratitude to the wonderful and innovative minds who have gifted us new innovations. And now it depends on us if we use it for evolution or devolution. It depends on us.
So did I hear that you said Earth would be gloomy if we didn't have all these inventions?
I said that if we did not have technology, the Earth would be a sad planet.
Got it. So let's take decades ago or probably hundreds of years ago, we did not have all this technology. Do you think people were sad and not happy in those times?
Now, what happened that at that time, that time the world was really happy, and now at this time the technology has been a part of our life, like we are having this virtual meeting. So this is like how we use it, and it has been a part of our life, and at that time it wasn't. So it depends on us, as I said.
Okay, so you touched on artificial intelligence and machine learning. Is there any application or tool that you observe there is AI or machine learning happening in this one? So what's your learning so far?
It could be Facebook. If we whatever we shop or whatever we search about, it's that.
So where is the applicability of these? Like nothing. Have you observed, let's say when you search for a movie on Amazon or Netflix or anything, or any of the movie, it searches for you, right? Do you observe anything there that it's kind of trying to understand on the Google, even on Google? What's happening there?
It's keeping the database of ours, and it keeps the database of ours. It keeps our memories and all. And I don't clearly understand your question. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I was just trying to see if you knew any of the applicability of AI or machine learning in your world, in your day-to-day life. That's okay. If you probably may not know a lot of things that you use every day, that you search Google or use applications, like it learns about you and then recommends things for you. So those are the things that is done with the help of machine learning. Okay.
Yeah. So I think it could be YouTube. It recommends us whatever we like. It could be some videos.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks, Gianna. That's very good.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Panisetti and Gianna, for sharing your thoughts with such honesty and earnestness. It was a pleasure listening to you and your perspective on things. And I would also ask now Raghuram to declare the winner of this entire category. Raghuram.
Thank you, Richa. You're giving me the toughest job. But before we get there, I want to say something. Each one of you, all the 6 participants were amazing. No two things. Each one of you have done exceptionally well, and the margin of error was very, very minimal. Anyone or all of you are winners. But we have to choose 2 people, so which was very, very tough for all the judges, and including me, though I was not a judge. I was like, I would give everyone the prize, but for the sake of formality, we have to choose 2. There's many detailed insights and factors the judges have considered, based on which we are selecting 2 winners. I think I can see the excitement on your faces. So the winner for the first prize goes to, smile. All right. So the first prize goes to Kashi Koleshnam. Congratulations. Right, yes, you're the winner. And the second prize goes to okay. So the second prize goes to Pranay Tyagi. And the margin is 0.1, 0.5 points, or 1 point. So it was so very close for all of you. So it's like we've been saying, this is not a competition, this is a celebration, and it was indeed a true celebration for us. It was very enriching to listen to each one of you. All right, so we wish you best. On that note, keep reading, and you will be on the path of growth. So over to you, Richa.
And Raghuram, before we end it, I think the winners do want to speak something. We can ask them to share something before we leave. Kashvi, you can start. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am, for choosing me as the winner. I learned a lot, and I got to know the importance of reading and started to take interest in reading books apart from my syllabus ones. And I also got to know my strengths and weaknesses. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much, Kashvi. We would also ask our other winner to also share his thoughts.
Pranay.
हिंदी में बोलिए प्रणय.
Okay. मैं तो अभी बहुत खुश हूँ, क्योंकि अभी ये आप जैसे कह रहे हो कि कंपटीशन नहीं है, ये सिर्फ रीडिंग है और थॉट्स का कंपटीशन है, और इसमें जिसके जैसे थॉट्स हैं बस उसे वैसा ही वो मिला है. तो फिर सर मैं यहाँ तक भी पहुंच गई, मुझे यही अच्छे लग रहा है, और मैं सेकंड आ गई. ये चीज मैं बहुत हैप्पी हूँ इस टाइम पर. तो मैं बहुत ज्यादा हैप्पी हूँ सर, मैं वर्ड्स में नहीं कह सकता सर.
और धन्यवाद प्रणय हमारे साथ आपके शब्द बोलने के लिए. हाँ बोलिए. Yes, Raghuram.
So I think Akshita, probably dropped out. Okay, but yeah, I think we'll have to end and move on to the next round in the interest of time. Thank you very much. We will reach out to you. हम आपसे संपर्क करेंगे प्रणय प्राइस का लॉजिस्टिक्स के लिए, ठीक है? और Kashvi will reach out to you. And all the best to all the participants. You are all winners in your own way. Keep reading, and you will be on the path of growth. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And this also brings us an end to this entire category. And I would also like to thank everyone for joining us on this special occasion. It was an absolute pleasure to hear from each and every one of you. I would also like to wish you all the very best, and keep reading and celebrating knowledge further.